Welcome to Leesburg Today's daily update for January 4th. I'm Samantha Bartram. Parents looking for more action than talk when it comes to addressing concerns about overcrowding in Ashburn area schools got some good news Tuesday. The Board of Supervisors endorsed a plan to build a new elementary school on land it owns along Waxpool Road. Under the proposal, the county will lease 19 acres of its Farmwell property, the site once planned for the development of an Islamic Saudi Academy campus, to the school system. The decision to build there may be the last piece in the puzzle. The county is looking to build a middle school next to Newton Lee Elementary near Belmont. Also, area residents have been asked to weigh in on the possibility of building a high school in Lansdowne on property now owned by the National Conference Center. There is much to be worked out with each of the three projects, but parents this week said they were happy that progress is being made. Meanwhile, residents living in the Raspberry Falls subdivision north of Leesburg aren't so happy. Dozens attended Monday night's Board of Supervisors public input session, urging county leaders to provide public water service to their homes. Residents have spoken about health problems they believe are caused by contaminated water. Supervisors want more data to fully understand the problem. The board voted Tuesday to request that Loudoun Waters study the feasibility of extending public water to Raspberry Falls from the town of Leesburg. The pipeline study does not guarantee public water for Raspberry Falls, but adds it to the 3 treatment plan options approved by the Loudoun Water Board of Directors early last month. In addition, supervisors asked that the Loudoun Department of Health contact each resident of the community to inform them of how they can report health-related issues. Susan Klimek Buckley will serve the last year of her term on the Board of Supervisors as its vice chairman after being unanimously reappointed to the position she has held since this board took office in 2008. Buckley recently announced she will not seek re-election this November. The action was taken during today's annual organizational meeting when the board voted to retain most of its committee assignments as currently structured. A public meeting Monday night led by Senator Mark Herring provided insight on his proposed legislation to ban the use, sale, and possession of synthetic drugs designed to mimic the effects of marijuana. Herring joined representatives from Loudoun Public Schools, the Sheriff's Office, and the Department of Mental Health, Substance Abuse, and Developmental Services in meeting with members of the public to discuss the impacts on users of drugs like K2 and Spice and on the measures Herring hopes to take to make them illegal.
For people to understand what synthetic marijuana is and what it isn't, when you first think about it, you might think it's somehow related to THC that is in marijuana, but it's not. Chemically, these are new substances that were created a few years ago. What they do is they take these chemical compounds that were designed a few years ago to mimic the effects of marijuana, and they spray it on herbs and incense, and then it's packaged as incense, and people smoke and inhale it. And so it's important that people realize this is not something that is naturally grown, and it is something that's newly created. And it's not something that is legal because we've looked at it and determined that it's safe. It's legal because it's a new compound that our drug laws have not yet caught up with.
Herring said the term synthetic marijuana is a misnomer for such substances because their effects can be very different, potentially leading to complications like increased heart rates, difficulty breathing, increased agitation, auditory and visual hallucinations, and paranoid delusions. One challenge to banning drugs like K2 and Spice is that their primary components can be easily changed. Manufacturers of the drug would be able to make new batches that are chemically different enough to avoid falling under any new laws, yet still achieve their desired effect. Dealing with that problem, Herring said, will take cooperation between state and federal governments in drafting new drug laws.
Laws are written to identify a chemical compound, and those who would sell drugs then alter the compound slightly, and until our drug laws catch up with it, it's legal. And so these kinds of designer drugs are, I think, going to become more and more of a problem especially for parents and law enforcement and state and local governments and the federal government.
Herring's bill will be considered during the General Assembly session that starts next week. Finally, All Ages Read Together, a local nonprofit literacy program, is seeking senior volunteers and site leaders for its upcoming classroom sessions. The organization works to pair low to moderate income preschool-age children with senior volunteers for targeted instruction in reading. The program is free to participating families and currently hosts sessions at 4 locations in Sterling, Purcellville, Herndon, and Leesburg. Senior volunteers work directly with the children, teaching them skills in reading, math, social interaction, and other areas in advance of attending kindergarten. All Ages Read Together is also seeking potential site leaders for new locations expected to open in the near future. Retired teachers or those on sabbatical are encouraged to apply, as is anyone with experience working with seniors or in early childhood education. More information on both positions is available online, along with application forms for anyone interested in registering their children for the program. The new session starts the week of January 10th. To learn more, visit AART's website. For more on these and other stories around our community, visit us online at leesburgtoday.com.